Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Arakal Kadash. Coming to you with the lesson. I actually I received this article from one of the Aquath from our congregation. God-fearing sister, fearing Yahweh with all her heart. She sent me this article, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in on it. This is that 9 nations are rehearsing their intentions to attack the United States. Sounds pretty good to me. Kwam Yasharallah. I'm going to urge you right now. I urge you, Yasharallah, in the power and the strength of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to Salah. Just take a moment. Salah. Just take a minute and understand where we at right now in Bible prophecy. We're living this every day. We're actually seeing the prophecies come true. Now, if this doesn't stir your spirit up, I don't know what's wrong with you. My spirit is stirred up. I know that all the prophets and all the Israelites from before, our forefathers, all wanted to live to see this day, the day that we're living and breathing in right now. I'm going to read a little bit of this article. I'm going to add a couple of scriptures just to edify. Some have asked me for more information about the Russian-Chinese war games which just took place. The information is readily available and should be highly concerning to every American. All of these nations are aligning against our country. And actually, this isn't our country. This is your country. We were dragged here. We were brought here on ships, slave style in chains, kicking and screaming, didn't want to leave where we were. So I believe this would be your country. And you're right. You Americans have to be very aware you're very hated all around the world. Now, the reason you're hated around the world is because you've raped, pillaged, murdered, and stole your way all across the planet Earth. There's only so many people you could do wrong on the earth. After you get done doing everybody wrong, what are you going to do now? You can't run. Where are you going? That must be why they're trying to get to the moon, to try to get away from what's coming. And I'm going to continue. There are some Americans who refuse to see the Russian-Chinese threat against America. Yeah, how he has them blinded. In the previous parts of this series, the case has been made that Trump is being drawn into a trap by committing military resources and men to defeat Iran. I'm going to stop here and just go into a script. I can't take it. Okay. They're talking about that they believe that Trump is being drawn into a trap. Well, you don't have to draw him into a trap. When you set a trap, that's what happens to you. You become trapped. Matter of fact, let me get that in scripture. Give me 1 second here. I'll go. Let me pull this up correctly. So I want to go to Proverbs. I'm going to go to Proverbs 26 and 27. Okay, I'm going to go down to 27 real quick. Okay, here it is. Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. So, karma, like people in the world say, karma, you get what you give. Well, the Most High, Yahweh, he says, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will be returned upon him. So when the stone comes rolling back, you can't try to play dodgeball or try to get out the way. You have to take this one on the chin. You have nowhere to run. You have nowhere to hide. You have no more false identities to claim. I mean, if you think about it, the man said he was the Egyptians. The man said he was Japheth. He said he was the Greeks. Right now he's saying he's Israel. Yasharallah. He's over there living in the land. He's claiming that he's everybody. But there's one person that I'm sure he won't claim he'll be. He'll never say that he's Esau, Edom, the red Hebrew Edomite, who he is, the cave beast. He'll never claim that, but he'll say he's everybody else on the face of the earth. That's crazy. Give me a second. Let me go back to the article. Okay, here we are. Yeah, because we were talking about a trap. Oh, okay. In the previous parts of this series, the case has been made that Trump is being drawn into a trap by committing military resources and men to defeating Iran. It's becoming crystal clear that Russia and China are not going to make their final stand against the Western bankers in Iran. They are going to resurrect Venezuelan oil in order to supply their BRICS nations, defiance of the petrodollar demands of the West. Yet most Americans refuse to see the omnipresent threat that is right in front of their eyes. Well, right now, their eyes are covered. Yahweh has them blind. He's actually he's taking the wisdom away from Teeman. At this point, I'm going to keep reading some more. This article will clearly demonstrate that in addition to the Latin American states that are aligning against America, there are countries around the world that are joining forces against the U.S. They are training to defeat and occupy this country. In fact, it can accurately be said that the sentiment against America is so high around the world that the reader will soon discover even diehard enemies are aligning against the United States. Now that's tough there. You got two nations that's hated each other for hundreds of years, willing to join forces to defeat Babylon the Great. The Great Whore, Lady Liberty, America is what I'm talking about. So, I mean, they hate each other, but they hate America even more. You know, the enemy of your enemy is your friend is probably what these nations are thinking. I want to take a second. I want to go to Revelation 17:16 just to shed light because they have nowhere to run. One quick second. And 17. Here we are. I'm going to go directly to the point, go right to 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So you understand, even the Edomites are going against the Edomites. Everything's going wrong for them right now. And I have to say the water, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai for that. It's a great thing when you can see your enemies in turmoil. The greatest thing is probably to see your enemies, be repaid that great recompense. But until then, we're just going to see them deteriorate slowly over time. He's putting a whooping on these people, and it's real slow. He delights in judgment. Yahweh's a great ruler. Yahweh Shai is a great king, and they delight in judgment. They love to judge. They have the biggest body counts of all. We'll go back to the article here. Okay. In fact, it can accurately be said that the sentiment against America is so high around the world that as a reader will soon discover even diehard enemies are aligning against the United States. As a side America, please allow me to ask a question. Why does the world hate America with such a vengeance? Answer, the world's nations do not hate Americans. And that's a lie. They hate the American government and their cruel and deadly brand of imperialism. That's true. However, millions of us could die because our government will put us in harm's way in the coming conflicts. Well, actually, the millions of Americans are going to die. It really doesn't have much to do with the activity of the government. It really have to do with the will of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. You have to understand, you put your hands on God's chosen people. not just any old people. You put your hands on God's chosen, and you think there's going to be no recompense? You think you're going to get away with that? It's not going to happen. Okay. Now give me a second. Let me get a script here. Because they're talking about being hated. Apparently they don't appreciate being hated. Us, Yasharala, we've learned how to be hated and still be happy and keep a smile on our face. Hello, all y'all. I'm going to go to Obadiah. I'm going to go to Obadiah 1 real quick. Let's see here. Bear with me a second. Okay, Obadiah 1. Let me see where I want to go. Here we go. That's a good one there. Okay, let's start at 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All of the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And I love that verse. That scripture is on fire. That scripture is fire. See, the ones that you conspire with, you talk with all these people against Yasharala. Let's tear their bands asunder. Let's stop them from being a nation. Well, these same people are now turning around to come get you, because there's no honor among thieves. You have to understand that. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the article. Okay, let me see. Okay, now it is a different story with both Chinese and the globalists. They want you dead. When I made this statement at Steve Quayle's Branson True Legends Conference, many have told me that the revelation shook them to their core. Yeah, they were scared. It says, why do globalists want Americans dead? Because we Americans have been raised on the notions of liberty and freedom, not bowing down to illegitimate authority. Whoa, I got to get a script on that. Wait a minute. So the writer of this article says that them as being Americans, they've been raised on the notions of liberty, doing what's right, and freedom, leaving people be, letting people be free, and not bowing down to illegitimate authority. I find that to be nothing but a lie. They are the illegitimate authority. They hate freedom. They hate for anybody else to have freedom. They love it for themselves, but they hate for anyone else to have freedom. And the notions of liberty that they supposedly were raised on, no, they were raised on the notions of murder, rape, robbery, pillaging, and then cover the story up in the newspaper and lie about it, or try to cover up the history of it, or if anybody knows, kill them. This is illegitimate. Let me see here. I'm gonna go to Job. Let me go to Job. Give me a sec. I gotta chop that up. Yeah, we're gonna run on over to Job. We love these scriptures. These scriptures. This our bread and meat. This how we eat. It's these scriptures here. Okay, I'm gonna go to Job 9. Try to see what I could find. Let me see. Suddenly, the trial of this. Okay. Here's one. 23. If the scourge slay suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. And I could have sworn the article says something about, being righteous, justice, or whatnot. This doesn't make any sense to me. They won't bow to illegitimate, control governments or whatnot, but they are illegitimate. 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? And who is he? So personally, there's no more you could do to show your wickedness and show that you're illegitimate. I mean, nothing more heinous than covering up the faces of the judge. You got a judge that stands for righteousness and truth, and you cover his face so you could get down. And then turn around and say that you will never bow to illegitimate government or illegitimate powers, but you are the illegitimate power. This is hilarious. These fools in their pride, they really got to stop it. Go back to the article. Let's see. Liberty and freedom and not bound to illegitimate authority. It's wild. The globalists can take away our leaders and can burn the Constitution. However, they cannot erase the ingrained sense of liberty that exists in most Americans. Therefore, genocide is coming. Well, I'll tell you, Americans, genocide is coming to those that laid their hand on the Most High, Yahweh's chosen people, Yasharallah. And I'm talking about your so-called Native Americans, your so-called Indians, your so-called Negroes, and all around the world for that matter. Because you got the Haitians, the Jamaicans, you got Argentinians. I mean, you got Chileans. I mean, you got Cubans. I mean, you got from Panama to Uruguay. I mean, there's 12 different tribes, and we've all been torn asunder by pretty much the same people. And they all will get this recompense. Now, this part troubles me. The globalists can take away our leaders and can burn the Constitution. Hold on. You guys burn your own Constitution. You guys write laws and go against them. You guys broke, I don't know how many treaties with the Native Americans. I'm not sure how many treaties you guys broke with these people. Every time you put something in writing, it's only good for wiping somebody's rear end. That's all it's good for. However, they cannot erase the ingrained sense of liberty that exists in most Americans. And I'm going to translate that. This ingrained sense of liberty is really actually pride. Because that's who you are, Esau, Edom. Red Hebrew Edomite, all you are is prideful. All it is pride. I'm going to get it. Actually, let me go back to Obadiah for this pride. Go to Obadiah 1. Let me see, Obadiah 1, and that's let's go to 2. Let's just go to 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So the Most High is letting everyone know right now that, for one, there's not that many of them compared to the rest of the heathen, and that they're the most hated of the heathen. You never hear about conversations about people wanting to kill the Japanese, Ammon, or Moab, the Chinese, or you just hear arbitrarily, a handful of heathen talking about, let's go get the Arabians. It's only Esau, Edom that they all hate. And when it comes to all their numbers, he's the smallest amongst them, which makes him prime target. All right, I want to go to 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Now you dig that. All that pride. That's all it is pride. So you're saying in your heart, who's going to bring you down to the ground? Well, I know 9 nations that's coming for you, man. On top of that, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, has it in his will to see your demise, to see your end, to see the end of your kingdom, to see 1,000 years of your slavery, hardcore bondage, and to see you burned in stubble. You can't tell me that pride's getting you anywhere. Well, let me go back to the article. Okay. Let me see. Genocide is coming. This spirit of genocide is also coming from the Chinese government. Genocidal intention against Americans is also coming from a Chinese perspective as well. Frequent visitors to the Common Sense Show may recall the articles I wrote which supported the Chinese intention to commit genocide against America. Why? Because they need our resources, and the fact that starvation, in the face of starvation and economic collapse, well, I'm seeing more pride. I can't even get through a whole paragraph. I see pride right here. Okay, so they're asking, why does China want to commit genocide against America? Talking about they need your resources, and they're facing starvation in this economic collapse. Well, actually, China's doing better than America financially. And really, America owes China. So if they do want to see genocide on the soils and in the shores of America, it's because you owe them money. This is natural. This is common sense. They're not trying to take nothing from you. Anything they take from you, you owe. Matter of fact, let me get a script on that. Because all this pride, like they want to take what you got when you owe them money. You know, you owe everybody around this world money. You owe everybody money. You owe us blood. Give me a sec here. Let me go to. I'm gonna go to Habakkuk. Let's go to Habakkuk. Oh. Let's run over to Habakkuk. And Habakkuk 2. Okay. Okay, let's just start at 5. This is hitting the point that we're already making. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and await that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land and the city, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covenant to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Yeah, he's been all around the world, and all he's worried about is his own safety, his own security, his own freedom, treading upon everybody else that lives on the land, taking their resources, taking their women, taking their children even, taking their homes. He's really trying to take their hope. That's really what Hashatan's trying to do. He's trying to take everyone's hope away. But us, Yasharala, we know what the truth is. We got the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai strengthening us day by day. Every day we wake up, he's there to strengthen us. And this Hashatan character is just going to fade into the past, and no one's even going to remember him. So I just want to go back through that a little bit. So this is the reason they hate you. They hate you because you transgressed with wine, by wine. You're proud. You don't stay at home. You're greedy. You can't be satisfied. You want to gather all people to you like you the Most High. Surely they're going to come up against you. Surely. You ladeth yourself with that thick clay. See, you got all that money that you owe to China, and you expect for them just to be cool? No, they're coming for that. They need that. That's their money. You understand? They're coming for that. This is just like people in the streets. You owe a cat money, you better watch out. That's how the cemeteries get filled, by owing people money. And I'm surprised that they didn't even try to pay him. They don't have any type of common sense. Let me go back to the article again. I'm just surprised by all of this. This pride is just wearing me out. Okay. Resource in the face of starvation and economic collapse. But when I have pointed out and documented these statements, many will retreat to safe state of cognitive dissonance. This is what they have about everything, and refuse to recognize what we Americans are facing. Well, you're facing what you gave to other people. That's what you're facing. You get what you give. Nothing wrong with that. Russia and China have difficulty in projecting military power around the globe. However, in a collective sense, they already are. Okay. So you're saying they're having trouble, projecting their power across the globe. No, the only trouble they have is media trouble. They don't have the media to cover and to push and to lie like you guys do. See, them people got more money than you got, America. Now the weak say I'm strong. See, you no longer could bully nobody now. So now you got to change the narrative because you always want to control that narrative. So now you want to try to play the victim. But see, you ain't been the victim for 400 and some years. You ain't been the victim. But now that you see you're not going to win, now you want to be the victim. I'm gonna go to Psalms on this one. Let me go over to Psalms. Yeah, let me go to Psalms. Give me a second. Go to Psalms 83. Let me see. Keep not on silence. Yeah, let's just start at 2. Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharallah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab, the Hagarenes, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined unto them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. So all these nations that you've made a pact with, that you've done, made deals with against Israel, they're all coming for you, and Israel as well. And that's through the power and the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Let me finish up this article. The following nations just participation in the joint war games. 128,000 military personnel from following countries: Russia, China, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, India, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. The drill included the use of 20,000 combat vehicles, drones, UAVs, as well as 600 aircraft. Amazingly, India and Pakistan, one of the most heated rivalries on the planet, jointly participated in the drills. This is how deep the hatred for America that is growing globally. Global sentiment is growing. But wait, America, the news is more concerning. Maduro was in Moscow yesterday, met with Putin and addressed the Russian legislator. Please refer back to the recent previous article I wrote. Okay, I'm not gonna go into that any further. Basically, these nations are tired, sick and tired of being under the red hairy foot of Esau, Edom. You understand? And no one's going for it anymore. And I have to say, call halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I hope the lesson was edifying. I do want to thank Nana Yasharallah for the article. Thank you. Kwame Yasharallah and a babaal.